This Marquee Dragon video is sponsored by Shattered Crystal, game codes, and items.
Hello, Marcus Eichenberry from MarqueeDragon.com, and today I got Tim with me. Now, Tim, in case you guys don't know, is the CTO of Marquee Dragon and also Shattered Crystal. And he, of course, being the CTO, that's Chief Technology Officer, it means he's a geek.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so he told me this morning, well, you broke your Android phone a little while back, right?
Correct.
And so you were kind of lamenting going back to your iPhone.
Yeah, well, my Android phone decided that it wanted to test its ability to ride on the freeway.
Oh yeah,
So-
on top of the car.
Yes.
Yeah, and so once it caught a little air, it
Yeah,
kind of just,
so
like,
I was
crashed.
sitting in the car and I hear this clunk, 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 and my wife goes, what was that? And I look in the rearview mirror, or the side mirror, and I go, my Android phone.
Man.
Yeah,
So you went back to your iPhone,
correct.
but obviously you liked Android.
Oh, I love Android compared to iPhone.
Because tell me what you did with your iPhone.
Well, the reason I had to jailbreak my iPhone in the first place is because I had switched to T-Mobile. I used to be AT&T.
Oh yeah.
But then I really
And they
missed-
didn't care that you broke your phone in regards to your contract.
T-Mobile didn't care. They know I'm using the iPhone.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, you have like a 1 year, 2 year agreement.
Yeah,
with them
well,
or
yeah,
whatever.
with AT&T, but I'd already gone past my agreement time.
Okay.
So I was already out of that. In fact, I'd already switched over to T-Mobile before ever jailbreaking the phone because I had got brand new. There were Motorola Click XT phones from T-Mobile. They were actually free, surprisingly.
So what did you do to your iPhone here?
So after I jailbreaked my iPhone, I still missed having my Android. So I started doing a little search, and I found out that there is a app that will take a jailbroken phone and install Android onto it. But the neat part is I didn't lose all my iPhone stuff because it installed Android, and then it dual boots now. So I can either go into Android or I can go into the iPhone.
So this is like for those of you that have had a PC that dual boots, or even a Mac, and so you've done the same thing to your phone here.
Correct.
So show me.
Well, here, I'll show you running right now, picture of my kid there, but that's running typical iPhone OS 4.
Uh-huh.
I'll go ahead and log in so everybody can see that it is actually running OS 4. And
Okay.
if you notice, I actually have a background picture. That's one of the advantages of having a jailbroken phone.
Oh, you can't do that otherwise?
No, it didn't, at least in 3.0 it didn't do that.
God, you should see the background on mine. I love my Android. So, yeah, here's the background on mine. Isn't that cool?
But if you go into your phone, does that continue to run?
Oh yeah. Well, let me show everybody my email here.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so it continues to run in the background even with my applications running.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So now what I'm going to do is demonstrate rebooting this. Let's see, focus somewhere in there. Rebooting it, and then I'll show you it go into the boot options. And by the way, this took me a total of, once I got the app, maybe 10 minutes for the app to completely redo my phone for me.
Mm-hmm.
But then once it comes back up, there was one area where I wasn't sure exactly what I'm supposed to do to get it to actually installed, because there is an install step after it pushes the software to it. It does have to be a jailbroken phone. You do have to have the SSH server running on here, because that's how it pushes the files over.
Oh, okay.
And the app that does this only runs on a Mac.
Okay. Oh, so you have to have a Macintosh to do this.
Yes, you have to have a Macintosh to do this.
Oh.
And it's called iPhodroid. IPHO Droid.
Mm-hmm.
And the site's the same thing. It's iPhodroid.com.
Okay.
It's,
I'll link to it in the description.
if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's the actual links to what you need to do to download stuff. So now that the phone's been booted, I get this screen.
Oh, neat.
So I can see if I can do this at the same time. So I click this little guy. I can choose iPhone. The actual install, you have to run this the first time you bring it up.
Okay.
And also, if there was something that happened to it, you could run that again to basically get a clean install of it. Where's the focus there? And then there's Android.
Okay. And so you just, you hit your little button there to do it. Okay.
Now it's going to the Android boot screen.
Oh. I just think that's really cool. So Now, tell me... Wow, look at that. It's just like booting a damn computer.
Yeah, well, even when I jailbroke, if I boot Apple, it will show the actual the BSD boot cycle. So I can actually see all the drivers that load in when I'm even doing the iPhone part. This takes a little while to download, but basically the process was my phone was already jailbroke, but I heard the app itself will do the jailbreaking for you if you have not jailbroke your app for you. So it's like a one-step thing, and I think it took me a total of 4 clicks to do everything. And then you see a series of screens. You actually see the app logging into the. Now there's Linux coming up. Oh, yeah. It's the same thing that's running on any Droid phone. Basically, it's running a Linux kernel underneath. Also, most people may not realize that the actual Android OS is open source, and anybody can download it and fiddle with it and apply it to any type of device they want to. There's no, of course, like other open source projects, if you try to do something with it and you add to the OS, then of course you have to contribute back to the community.
Right.
But you could even make Android run on PC if you wanted to take the time to convert it over.
Well, actually, there will be what is it called, Chromium, which is similar.
Yeah. Well, and I hear the new HP Slate is going to be. There's a version that's going to be.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait. I love my iPad, and so we've got all of these Android-based tablets or pads coming out. And I can't wait because I get so much more use out of my Android than anything else.
Yeah, and I actually like the apps. I find more useful apps on the Android than I do on the iPhone. And those are all pretty much free. I've never actually bought an app on iPhone.
It's kind of interesting. The markets are very different. I heard a report about how the iPhone market that, I forget what percentage of it was it paid, but it's only 1/3 of as many people who actually pay for apps on the Android market. Yeah. But I've started buying apps, and they're cheap, $1 a piece or whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares about $1? Yeah.
I do notice that the Android boot takes longer than my iPhone boot cycle. I'm not sure exactly why that is, because right now, it's still in the boot sequence.
So it's not a fast switch.
No, it's not. I mean, it's going to take me probably about, I'm guessing, 2-3 minutes to boot that completely.
Wow. Now you mentioned something about battery life. And
well, I know the first few ports of Android onto the iPhone, basically it didn't understand the power saver modes or any of that kind of stuff, so you would get about an hour max lifetime out of it.
Yeah.
I haven't ran the Android long enough to find out how much power it uses. I do know it uses more because the fact that it doesn't understand all the power saving stuff. They're still working on that. I believe it has some audio issues on playing some different audio types. Wi-Fi, I tried to set it up on home, it didn't work, but actually I was going to set it up here. In fact, if it comes up, we'll connect into the Wi-Fi here and actually browse the web. It does take advantage of my Edge service, so immediately we'll go out and surf the net over T-Mobile. Text, voice, all that kind of stuff works just fine.
That's cool.
But you can see that it's still in that boot cycle.
Still footing. But it's just so cool that you can do that. And there was just now I don't know the full details of it, but I did hear on the radio this morning or yesterday about how Apple lost their case to keep people from jailbreaking their phones.
Yeah.
And so I don't know exactly what that means, but it means they're probably going to be less anal about it.
Yeah. This is also just a 3G phone versus the 3GS or the 4. But I will say, though, that the Android OS, once it's booted, runs better than the iPhone 4.0 on the device as far as smoothness and transition.
Funny.
So that's one of the areas I did want to look at. Jailbreaking actually is really simple, too. And for jailbreaking, there's apps that run on the Mac or PC. Droid. So in just a minute, it should show little sliders, and we're in. And not to mention, this is Android 2.2.
Oh, okay.
It's the latest.
So that's Froyo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I understand is some sort of dessert.
I have no
Some sort of pastry. They're all named after pastries. Yeah, there was cupcake and...
That's weird. And so now, there we are. Android. See, it goes to my T-Mobile service. And now let's see.
Your screen looks different than mine. You have a slide bar that goes sideways instead of...
Well, that's the other thing, too, is that I have a touchscreen, and most Android phones have, you have buttons and stuff like that to control it. So they had to make it where these buttons control differently than your other Androids because they're expecting you to have a keypad and things like that.
Interesting.
So slide it open, and now we're in.
Cool.
There's one new version coming out anytime now. It sounds like it's going to be a mass amount of fixes on it too.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I can understand, the guy that's doing it's pretty much a one guy.
Oh, interesting.
Doing it, and of course he takes donations and things of that nature.
Right.
We've got the marketplace, and there's your typical Android apps.
Now, what happens with the marketplace? Okay, so when I switched phones, I didn't take my applications with me, even though I kept my same phone number. But
You could have, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can copy them. They're just files.
Dumb me.
You can copy them over, so you just have to copy the files at the right locations.
Hmm.
Because basically, the neat thing about Android is that it works as a file system also.
I did notice that there's a lot of updates in 2.2 that allow you to put stuff on your SIM card and run it there. And so I assume that you can just take your SIM card then and put it in your new phone, or copy it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, thanks for taking the time to show that to us.
Yeah.
I just find Android stuff so exciting because there's so much stuff you can do with it. It's not the closed market like Apple has. It is a very open market, and it's a little bit Wild West.
Yeah.
Because I have had some apps that just look like my phone all of a sudden rebooted.
Yeah, and they don't have nearly the quality controls like Apple does. But at the same time, without doing such tight controls, like the geek in me downloaded this Commodore 64 emulator on my Droid before. So, I mean, that kind of stuff won't exist on Apple.
Right, not at all. Yeah, yeah. And Apple does a lot of things of, if there's multiple applications that do the same thing, they'll just pick one of them.
Yeah.
Or however they decide, so.
Yeah, and, of course, like I said, the Edge service works just fine off the internet to go.
Cool.
So.
Hey, thanks, Tim.